All right, everyone. As if you'd seen my channel update, it's kind of or if you haven't. So normally, like I said, I started this YouTube channel a long time ago. I was just doing little videos, stuff my kids was doing, and then did some video game streaming. Played around with that, but never really was serious about the channel. Then about a year or so ago, I got into doing YouTube Shorts. Which was great because I'm an action figure collector. You guys see me in the chat of several YouTube channels, and the thing was, by the time I was able to get a figure, the people had already gotten reviews. You got those folks that get like samples from from the manufacturers, and those are just the pre-order set. They get those, or they're just able to find it. And so by the time I got it, pretty much I kind of felt that everything that needed to be said about an action figure was probably already said. So, but I like shorts because then I could just take 60 seconds to kind of explain what I liked about something, what I didn't like about something, just real quick like that. And so I was having fun with that, and going on is I'm doing stuff. I did, I just I tried doing a couple of long form videos, but they're just very raw. Because I wasn't really taking the time to kind of learn what YouTube could do. So I've taken the effort. I've taken a few steps to learn how to do things better on YouTube. So I'm kind of like I'm an old dog learning some new tricks. So as we go along, I want to start adding some videos to my channel. Stuff is going to be kind of like a little bit long form videos today, where I discuss a certain part of my collection and why I got into that part and kind of explain it a little bit. So as hopefully my skills will start improving as the more I do this. This is the first one of a series where I talk about a portion of my collection. My first one I was planning on was going to be on Iron Man, Marvel Legends figures. So I'm currently in the collecting the first. My goal is to collect the first 13 Iron Man armors in Marvel Legends, mainly because that's when I was, a big fan. I kind of left off Iron Man in the late 90s when he was up to the Model 13 armor. And then a few spare. So I kind of want to do that, but then I realized I was missing, what I was missing two of the Iron Man armors I really needed to complete that video. So while I was waiting on that, I was like, well, I want to get this done because I'll just keep pushing it off, and not do it if I'm waiting on forever on those two armors. So what I'll do is today is I'll start out sharing my Steel Brigade collection from Valaverse. This was a line that I've just recently, the past couple of years, started collecting. Just kind of, I saw it originally. Guess how it started was I was following Retro Blasting, who kind of got me interested in analog toys, who did a review on some upcoming from this company called Valaverse, which did connect me over to that. And I saw that, and I decided, well, this is something I was going to start collecting. So just real, short review. So for those of you that don't know, I'm not going to go too deep into it because this is stuff that most people in the collecting arena know about already. Or if you don't, it's easy to look up. So, you originally, I grew up born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s. So big G.I. Joe fan, 3 3/4 inch. As the line grew, they came out with a mail-away figure called the Steel Brigade figure. And basically this was it was a figure that the body was kit bashed from other G.I. Joe parts, but it had a unique head sculpt of a helmet. And the mail-away form had a little questionnaire type thing that you could check boxes off, fill in your code name that you want to put in your name as the file name, birth, place of birth. Then you would tick off some boxes for specialties and weapons and stuff like that. And then you would sit away from it, and then you would get the figure back with a kind of a file card that's shaped around the information you provided. Neat concept. I never got it, as a kid. My time, because you're always, when I was a kid, I was always the money, allowance money, or stuff like that. Money just didn't stretch as far. So by the time I was old enough to actually appreciate it, the mail is over. I've never got into it again. So then come to find out that many years later, I guess Hasbro didn't secure. They let the trademark lapse, and then I heard of this company called Valaverse, who had acquired the licensing to Action Force, which is the British version of G.I. Joe, precursor, but long story. And then also Steel Brigade. And one of the figures they were going to do in their line was a Steel Brigade figure, a 6-inch Steel Brigade figure. And so I saw the prototypes of it and just loved it. I was like, this is the figure I'm going to get. I mean, it's around a $30 figure, so I'm probably not going to collect a whole bunch of Valaverse stuff, but this is the one I want. I want the Steel Brigade figure. And it was great because if you ordered it, it came with a patch, kind of like the original did, and a blank sheet that you could create a file card for the figure, which I thought that was great. So my original intent, I was just going to get the Steel Brigade figure. Maybe I would true build. I didn't know. And then some things happened, and the rumor was there's going to be some variants of the troop of the Steel Brigade figure. So I was like, well, I want to troop build this figure, but I just don't want a bunch of the same figures. So what I'll do is I'll troop build, but only a variant of the figure as well. So that's what I decided to do. And so that's what I've been doing. So every time a Steel Brigade offering comes out that's a variant of the first one, I get at least one copy of it. So in this, again, I'm trying this new thing out. So all the photos in here are from my collection, my personal collection. So they're my photos, but they're all of the Valaverse Steel Brigade figures. So that was my original intent, was just Steel Brigade, but since then it's kind of become the Steel Brigade actually turned out to be a gateway drug into Valaverse. And right now I'm currently waiting for my Series 5 order to come in, which is probably the first time I've ordered almost the entire series of figures at one time. So I'm looking forward to that. So one thing also too about these photos in here, I changed the loadout on some of these figures already. The base figure comes with a M4 with a grenade launcher, and I've kind of got like a little bit OCD on things that if a figure has a grenade launcher, then there needs to be like a grenade pouch or grenade somewhere on the figure to feed it, and the Steel Brigade doesn't have that. So I took the M4 away with the grenade launcher and replaced it with mostly the Valaverse also does great weapons packs and multiple weapons in different colors. And so I went with the Scar. I think it was a Scar 17 with the on most of the figures. So as you'll see, these figures are not as they came out of the package. At least the weapons have been modified on some of them. So with that, let's take a quick look of as we go through these. So the first one, this is the guy that started it all, and the Series 1 Steel Brigade Trooper. I mean, this is just a really great figure to kick off the line with. The bodies are simple. We kind of reuse the same bodies, different paint job, but I love it. So it evokes the original Steel Brigade from Hasbro. Removable vest, pouches, accessories, guns, good look on it. We got some battle damage on it. It really went in with the vest, and this look kind of matched the entire Series 1 of the good guys. So you can tell this was a kind of a unifying uniform with it. It came with, again, the figure. Then with some extras in there, it came with a patch, which as I was prepared for this, I was looking for my Steel Brigade patch. It's kind of weird. It's like everything, and sometimes when you don't need it, you're stumbling over it, and then when you need it, you can't find the thing. So I can't find a thing, but it came with a nice patch for the Steel Brigade patch, and also the sheet for to create a file card on it. It comes with a file card on the back of it, but then a sheet to create it, so you can make your own, give it your own code name, background and story and history and all this. So it really gives you, really immerses you into the world of Valaverse, which is what a good toy line will do. So I got this one. I was happy with it. Thought about, so maybe down the road I'll buy some more of this one. And then we got word that there was going to be a variant for the Series 1 Steel Brigade Trooper, and that variant was going to be a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. It was a Night Ops Steel Brigade. So, yeah, listen, you take any figure, you put it in dark colors, Night Ops and stuff like that. It's kind of reminiscent of the old Night Force The figures are basically took the same figure, painted it in a dark blacks and greens and stuff like that. So it's basically the same trooper, same accessories, just in this black and green color scheme. So I was like, okay, now here's, and this one was kind of frustrating because this is also the line hit during the pandemic. So every shipping was behind, but Valaverse got theirs out first. Big Bad Toy Store, they put theirs on the slow boat, so it took a while to get it. So it's kind of frustrating waiting for this one, but I ordered it and got it in, and that's when I decided, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do with this line. Is this I'm going to, since they're going to do more variants, that was my guess. So that's what I was going to do. Is I was going to collect. I was going to army build variants. So now I've got my 2 Steel Brigades, and now the itch is going, so I'm ordering more Valaverse stuff, and kind of didn't hear anything so much about the Steel Brigade as the next as Series 2 rolled in with that. But then something before Series 3 hit, they announced that they were going to re-release the Steel Brigade figure in what was called a special deployment series. It would be basically the same as for people that missed out on the first one, because this was a very popular figure. There'll just be some slight changes to it, but not complete. Was a completely different figure. It was basically the same figure, there's slight modifications to it. And so what we had is we had the special deployment Steel Brigade Trooper, and the main modification on this one was in the Series 1 Trooper. For those that backed the original Kickstarter, they got a special additional item of a Steel Brigade Commander head, which would be the Steel Brigade helmet with the with gold on it, and so that would be the Commander. It was only for the Kickstarter stuff, and I had heard about Valerse long after the Kickstarter already ended, so I knew I was ever going to get a Commander head, and people that got Commander heads, there were some people like trying to sell them for outrageous amounts once this line blew up. So during these special deployment series, they included the regular head that the original trooper came with, but then they also included a new Commander's head. Now, this one is supposed to be, so I've never personally seen the old Commander head, so I'm just saying for a fact, for at work face value, that this was a different, even though it's got the gold on it, it's like a different coloration of the head, so that way you can swap it out and you can have a Commander head. So again, okay, to me now that's a variant I want now. So I took it and popped the Commander head on this figure, and now I have a Steel Brigade Commander to go with my troops. Now I'm up to 3 Steel Brigade figures. Again, now that helmet makes him stand out, so I know he's a complete difference. So that's my variant with that. And then they do something that was completely amazing, which you never really see this with troop builder figures before. So what they did is Valaverse does gear packs where you can add to your troops. And so they did a Steel Brigade special gear pack called the Heavy Weapons Steel Brigade. And it was part of the special deployment series. And so basically what it came with a different helmet again, different color scheme on it. Then they redid one of the vests from another gear pack, which is more of a heavier vest, more up armored vest, and then a new pistol and holster design. And it came with an AA-12 shotgun, which I love the shotgun, but I swapped it out later with the SIG style machine gunner to make him truly a heavy weapons trooper. So what I had to do is I had to go and buy a second of the SDS bodies, and then you put these parts on it. So now it's another variant. You had to build the variant yourself. But I like that. That's pretty cool. I mean, that was something I would definitely hope in the future, if they release Steel Brigade figures, that they will, give us some other gear packs for variants as well. So, so that's great. So I love it. So now I've got 4 Steel Brigade figures. Got the original, a Night Ops, a Commander, and now a heavy weapons guy to go on. So I've got a good fire team going right there. It's just, it's clear along. There's enough uniformity between all of them. They all fit well together. And then shortly after the special deployment series, they the conventional wisdom in the toy industry, especially boys' action figure lines. And let's be honest, this guy is geared more towards males. Is that the idea is that female figures don't sell. They both say, there are stories back in the day, when Jedja first came out, that Scarlett's worn of the pegs because boys didn't get them. Princess Leia and Star Wars, she was one of the pegs because boys didn't want a girl because they would think it was more of a doll than an action figure. So, and then you see that too, even in modern figure collecting, a lot of times female figures are short packed in a box. They put a box with several different figures. Just you'd have 2 or 3 of one figure, and then the female figures gets only one in the pack. They short pack it. So Valaverse did something outside the box. Is they did an entire series of just female figures. And so, of course, if they're doing that, they're going to give us a female Steel Brigade Trooper. And this was really great. It's the same female body they use for the other stuff. The uniform matches what's come before. They do it in the color scheme. The only changes, getting the body slightly smaller. The helmet, it came just like with the special deployment. It came with a commander's helmet and a regular trooper's helmet as well. But then they also came with a redesigned vest, which is very, very neat, because I know as a veteran and coming out of the veteran community, there's not a wide known complaint that body armor we issue women in the military was not designed for their bodies, and it causes a lot of problems. So what we're seeing here is what would a set of body armor designed for a female soldier look like. That's practical, that fits. This looks like it fits well and comfortable. It's also it's distinct from the male body armor, so it's got its own uniqueness to it. So it looks really good. So I only got one of them. I kept always, going, well, I need to go back and get a second one so I could have a commander female, and I never did. So my hope is at some point in the future, we'll get it in a future SDS special deployment series, a reissue of the female Steel Brigade in this style, and then so I can have the commander figure. So with that, now I've got these nice figures. I kind of take the original trooper, my commander, my Steel Brigade commander, the heavy weapons, and my female trooper. And these are the guys that get to ride my Vanguard. I got, you see in the background, I got the Vanguard in. There's 3 seats, minus the one for the Reaper. So this is my active squad. A lot of that's because I live in Northeast Florida, which is very much a green area. Later on down the road, I'll probably do something on my Republic Guard figures from Valaverse, but I got all the Delta, Delta ops, because they're in the green uniform, so it's very green. Going into Series 4, it was a lot of desert and Arctic figures and accessories and stuff like that, and I'm not big into that because it's not in my my area. But so my intention was never to get any of the desert or Arctic stuff. However, they produced for Series 4 the Desert Steel Brigade. So now you have the Steel Brigade, exact same body, exact same, just done in desert colors, and it looks amazing. So I broke down and it's the only desert figure in my collection besides the Desert Condor, which I got from the mystery box sale. So I've got this guy, the Desert Steel Brigade. The weathering looks great on it. It's the same mold, but just all the different colors. It's done perfect, and it looks great. So I kind of have this one. He just kind of sits off to the side. He's there for part of. He doesn't get to ride the Vanguard. It's just there because again, it's about troop building. The variants is what I'm looking for here, and it's just and it is a great looking figure. It's just in my world building, he's just there, unfortunately, and he kind of goes for the kind of sits with the night ops. I don't do a lot of nights, but I got a plan for that in the future. So it's kind of like these are like my special ops Steel Brigade Troopers. But they weren't through with that. They wanted to throw one more for me. So in Florida, we don't get snow. So when they were doing the Arctic, and the Arctic stuff started as a joke during one of the 3PO podcasts, it kind of just took ground of its own. And so I didn't get any Arctic stuff. I think I got the Arctic weapons pack because I want to collect the weapons packs as well. So it's just kind of, but they're displayable off the side. But then in Series 4, they also had to do a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive an Arctic Steel Brigade. So I had to get that too to keep with the variant building. So it's just again, the figure looks great by its own. It doesn't really fit in with the rest of my collection, but it fits in with that goal of variant building the Steel Brigade stuff. The so I've got these, and then I'm like, okay, so where do you go from here? What's coming next for Steel Brigade? And then, of course, for most of you know that, and this is this just came out recently, and I think the day they went up, I wanted to get this one. So the next thing they did, and this has been the most recent Steel Brigade figure, is a Valaverse exclusive Steel Brigade figure for a charity, and it's a and I can't remember the name of the charity off the top of my head. I'll put it down in the links below in the description, but it's for breast cancer awareness. So they took the female Steel Brigade figure and did it in this pink and black color scheme. That's just absolutely amazing to see. The that you would think, oh gosh, a pink, it's so girly, but it's been a great seller for them. And I see a lot of people posting like, yeah, thanks for making this figure. My wife loves it. I bought it for my wife, or I bought it for. Listen, again, I said this figure is amazing. I didn't buy it for anything. This is in my collection. It's a Steel Brigade variant. It's a female figure. It's for a good cause, and it's amazing that the black body armor just really pops against the that pink there. And I've seen people buy several of these, and they get it with the pink Vanguard, which is cool looking, but it's really good. So again, it doesn't fit into the overall world building that I'm doing, but it does fall into that variant of the Steel Brigade, which I love it. So it's on the shelf, as well with that. And so that's where we're at with the Steel Brigade with Valaverse right now. So the question is what's coming next for the Steel Brigade? The Series 5 is just now hitting, and there's no Steel Brigade in Series 5. So I'm kind of just wondering, I'm sure he'll pop back up again at some point. But one of the things in an upcoming, I think it was a Facebook post or an Instagram post, is Bobby teased a vac metal helmet of the Steel Brigade, which is cool because the back, from the 80s, 90s, vac metal was a thing, but it kind of deteriorates. And there's another company that made a line of action figures that they were originally vac metal, but they weren't going to do vac metal because they said nobody can do vac metal anymore. And so I guess the point was that you can still do vac metal, you just got to want to do vac metal. So I don't know if there's a special Steel Brigade coming out that's going to be all with vac metal parts. Again, it's kind of weird out there. It's not going to fit my world building aspect of my collection, but it may be a Steel Brigade variant. I'm going to get it. The only Steel Brigade thing I don't have to get is one of the original Commander helmets with that. So, will there be a female special deployment series again, so I could get that base female body again, so I could have my Commander? I would love to see that in the future. I haven't seen a word of that. Also, too, when it first came out, so you wouldn't have to mess up your file card that they gave you in the first one, they actually had a file card generator set up on the website where you would go in, you would fill that out as a PDF, and then they would print it out and email it to you, and it would give it a serial number on there, so that way you could track it, so that it was kind of unique to your character as well. When they did the website switch over to a new website with a new shopping platform, that feature went away. I know I've asked for it back several times and got, well, I don't know, maybe we'll see, but I would love to see that come back because it was really part of the world building. The first, my first 5 Steel Brigade figures all have their own personalized file cards that I created. The desert, Arctic, and the pink one that it was shut down for that one as well. Now there's a opposite team called the Garrison Cavalry, and they did a basic troop builder, which is this one on the screen. That I wish I'd gotten more of them, but they're coming out on a special deployment series as well after Series 6 or part of Series 6, the second half, or however they're working it out. So I want to get some of those because to me that's the bad guy equivalent to the Steel Brigade is the Garrison Cavalry. So I would like to see some variants on that, like maybe something with a like a mask that's like part gold on it or all gold as a commander, and maybe a weapons pack like an anti-armor weapons pack to keep it different from the heavy weapons, or some sort of variation, and then even a female version of this body, so I can start kind of troop building that as well. So with that, that's the that is just a brief overview, as brief as I can make it, of my Steel Brigade collection. And so just wanted to, I hope you all enjoyed my take on the Steel Brigade, how in my so a little bit about how I do world building and the reasons why I collect what I collect, because especially I would love to be a collect everything collector, but that's sometimes very hard. So sometimes I have to limit it to a certain thing or a certain theme. And I think with the Steel Brigade, that's really allowed me to fulfill that niche. But then again, it got me in the rabbit hole of Valaverse. So I do a lot of other figures, with them as well. But when it comes down to it, if push comes to shove, if all I can afford is a Steel Brigade or this other character, if it's a new Steel Brigade that's a variant of the Steel Brigade, then that's what's going to get my cash at the time. So again, hope you enjoyed how this one went. Coming up next, so I'm probably going to we'll go over some history of how I got into collecting. Then hopefully by the time I have those Iron Man figures, I can do the Iron Man Legends review. And then as I go along, like I said, my next challenge is learn how to do editing, to do intros and outros and stuff like that. But this is, hopefully will be a good start that people will enjoy this, resonate. If you did like it, please leave comments. Let me know. I know eventually all this stuff in the background will be straightened up. It'll look like less of a junk room, a little bit nicer. I don't think I'll ever do the shelves with everything on the back. I see that and I just kind of go, oh my gosh, how many times does that fall over during a day? But I'll make the background look nicer as I'm going through this learning experience. I hope you guys join along with me as I'm learning how to do this. So thank you all. Like I said, there'll be some links to Valaverse and the charity below. And then just, do all the, if you liked it, let me know.